don't do right, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
with
true.
that,
Yeah.
I am Marlanna J, and yes, I have a, radio show on Bayshore Radio on iHeart, and I also have a podcast that I do that's on YouTube, and of course, it goes on iHeart as well. And the beautiful thing about it is, of course, Spotify too. And I actually at the Hypers Club. I do the podcast at the Hypers Club. Used to be Comedy Hype.
Okay.
Used to be Comedy Hype down in Atlanta. A lot of people know Comedy Hype. It's now Hypers Club, and it's a great podcast area as well. I have been doing a lot. Like, I've been in radio, TV production. I was just telling attorney Foster, because she's a coach. We're going to probably talk about that a little bit. But I also work with a TV production
Okay.
company that has channels that you can actually get on if you have a business or if you like to be on TV. I can put you on TV. I'm a woman who has been in business for a long time, and now I find myself kind of outsourced my own self with education. I was good when I didn't have 2 degrees, and they wanted me to work because they could pay me a certain amount, put me in an executive position, but not pay me the top salary because of my degree
Of
status.
course.
So I said, oh, Lord, okay, Lord, let me go back to school and get my degree. And now it's been very difficult getting back into the corporate gig. So I have my own business. It's Marlanna J Management, MJ Management. I actually started it in 2009.
Okay.
And I went back to corporate because of family and everything else. I went back to corporate, started doing the corporate gigs again, and then found myself here once again saying, you know what? It's time for you to really do this thing for real. Because you are a consultant, you know business very well. I was a real estate agent for 12 years, multi-million-dollar producer. Worked with Marriott, I've worked with executive positions. There's not much that I don't know. It's like I'm a little bit of what is that? The Jill of all trades.
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Jill of all trades, and people say that motto real quick. Jack.
Jack of all
All
trades.
trades,
And
master of none.
yeah. Well, I don't think so. I think if you get to a certain age and you've done all of these things in life, and I'm sitting next to a dynamic woman who has a lot of things as well, I think when we're built the way we're built, we can master those things
Yeah.
that God gives us to master.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk a lot tonight, and you'll probably hear a lot of the background that I have, but I just love
Love it.
people. I love to see
Even with the
people.
1-star rating.
Yes. I love people that have more potential than they think they have.
Mhm.
And I love to see it come to fruition. So
Good.
that's what I do. I bring
That's
the best
lovely.
out of people.
Yeah.
So that's why I loved his t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because
You
that
can get that
that
1-star
hit me
up.
one stop. Let's get that 1 star up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's work on that 1 star.
Well, thank you for being here and giving that information about yourself. People can know what you do. We'll make sure they know where to find you and
Thank
reach out
you,
to you if they need this information. Before we get out of here, so just be prepared to give that out. So listen, we're gonna have some fun. Let's turn on the blood. I know it's already running, but let's turn it on a little bit. And we like to play a couple little games here before we start
Uh-oh.
to get our
Uh-oh.
brains
Let me
rolling.
get
Oh, man.
adjusted.
So I think we should let the guests pick which one. Now you're gonna do
Absolutely.
both, but
They're
we'll let
hot
you
seat
pick which one you want to
questions.
do.
Oh,
Just so
they
you
are.
So we have a
Oh.
standard question of the day that we
Okay.
ask, and then we play Would You Rather. So, ladies, which one would you like to partake in first?
Standard question of the day.
Regular question of the day. Okay. So this is our icebreaker, blood flower, make the brain think you big. So this is gonna hit you a little personally.
See?
That sound
Not
like
bad.
a
I
blood
told you it was
It's
hot
not
seat.
terrible. It's not hot. It's
All
just
right.
gonna make you think about yourself because some of us like me, we always think about others. We're not really giving ourselves too much thought about ourselves. So my question to you, ladies, and myself, because Tab is going to make sure I answer it. What 3 things would you change about yourself overall?
Oh.
Look, see the looks you gave me. What
licking of the
3
lips.
things would you change about yourself overall? Since you gave me the dirty looks, I'm gonna start with you, co-host.
Start with me then and watch me roll it off. So one,
She's a good deflector.
I do overthink. I tend to overthink a little too much. Sometimes I actually have what they call analysis paralysis. So I would tone that down a little bit. I love being a thinker, but I would definitely tone that down just a tad.
Okay.
The second thing I would change is I start a lot of stuff,
but don't finish.
and I do not finish.
Well, we working on that this
And
year.
we are, but that's what I would change, because what I did discover about myself is I love processes. I love the process. So what had to be shown to me was that, okay, you can finish something and then start another process. You don't have to keep one process ongoing.
Open,
Right.
and open.
So that I would definitely work on, completing things. And then 3, if I got to stop at 3, because, I can.
It was 3.
I would probably not eat as much fried foods.
In particular, chicken.
No.
You eat more than fried?
I would eat fried. No, that's gonna stay the
It
same.
has to be
So
different.
maybe other fried.
Other fried.
I agree with
Fried chicken is staying.
I'm not going to tone down the fried chicken.
That's
okay. Attorney Foster.
me.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
That's you.
So, I would stop procrastinating, and I would I'm getting better at it, but not take things personally. Know that people are living their own lives and doing their thing is their thing,
Yeah.
and don't let it attach.
Yeah.
But I'm an empath. You're an empath.
You think so?
I think so. Because sometimes, I think you are.
Okay.
And so, it's not a woo-woo kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's just, we're just made that way.
Yeah.
We receive it, and people's moods and energy can
I can
get
agree
on
with
us.
Yeah.
And you gotta push it away.
Yeah.
You gotta wave it away, and
Yeah.
free yourself of their negative energy.
Correct.
And so that, although I kind of like it, because it's who I am. So I think we've all come to grips with who we are. So so that, and maybe I would. I don't eat a lot of fried foods, but maybe I would snack less. I would
Okay.
go back to being vegetarian.
Ah, okay.
I like vegetarianism. I do.
Okay.
But your things, you can hire a coach, Tab.
I know.
And the
I'm
coach will
sitting
help
next
you.
to- I'm sitting next to
I'm
two
just saying.
options.
Look, 2
I'm
options.
just
You
saying.
said like
Yes.
Two
two
options.
options.
So.
Okay. Love those. Marlanna J.
Gee, this is tough for me
See how
because
she had to take
this
mine.
is tough for me.
Because you're
But
fabulous.
hey, I love it.
And it's okay
I
if you
love
love
it,
everything
right?
about yourself,
I
that's
don't
good.
love everything about myself, but if I could change 3 things, I'm an empath too, and I've learned to just cut it off. I like to give advice, but people don't want my advice. So,
That's a natural coach in you.
honey, I'm a coach for real.
Yeah.
And so I have to turn that off. So learning how to turn that off and then turn it down even because the frequency is so high sometimes. So that's one thing that I've been working on for years, and I'm getting better. I'm seeing that the older you get, the more you don't care about what people
Say
think
that
anyway.
part.
So true.
So, and then of course we talked about it before we got on the air. I was thinner before I got stressed out about some things. And so if I could change some things, that's definitely what it would be. I've told everybody I have 4 kids and I want to get that tummy tuck. So I'm going to do that. One day I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And so those 2 things are probably one of the 2 things that stand out to the most.
Yeah.
And then, I'm silly. I don't want to change it, but I know that sometimes comes off as goofy or whatever. So if I could change something, it would be not to be so lively at all times, to tone it. Yes, look at that.
I love it too.
I
That's why you're
know.
here.
That's why
That's exactly what has
but
you at this
it-
table.
But it is about her.
But it's about
Yeah.
it's about the question, because a lot of times the things that we are out externally it's things that we would like to tone down internally.
Mm.
But it's something that's naturally you. It's authentic. I'm me.
Okay.
But those are the 3 things that I would work on.
Now, the beauty about these are things that can be worked on.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
That's
They
it.
can change them. So
That's
those
it.
are pretty easy. I guess for myself, I'm like you. The mind just don't want to turn off. So I'm definitely overthinking, trying to think about what can be done, what can I can do, what can I fix, what can I not fix, what can be changed, what can be all that. So
All that.
I would change that. Oddly enough, at this age that shall remain nameless, I will say that I still kind of worry about what people say. And that's only because of the acting profession, this profession, all of that. So I'm trying to see people are critiquing. I'm in a judgmental
environment.
space.
But you're good.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm acting in film or I'm doing this or I'm doing something, I'm always worried about that part. If I could just turn that off like some people do, they'd be like, I don't give a damn what nobody say, just turn it off. I wish I had that. And don't shoot me for this, but you know this is a candid show. So I understand.
Candid.
Lock and loaded.
If we're in a space where, you know,
We can be free.
sex sells. So I would say I would change my physical appearance to be aesthetically handsome for the masses, so I can get what I want.
I know you did.
I'm just being honest. We talked about this last show.
We did.
We talked about this last show. Remember you said you wanted to hear this perspective of body image from men and stuff? That would be one of the things that I would change because I can get what I want if I was, in my opinion, people tell me all the time I'm handsome.
You are handsome.
That's no whatever. But you got to feel it in yourself. Yeah. And I'm starting to get there.
Yeah. Look, you know
with
they
the
say
little weight loss.
that what makes a person attractive is the symmetry of their face.
Yeah.
And you're very symmetrical.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you're not like,
Yeah.
No, so...
If you look at somebody like, just, you know, when she did that, I'm sad to say that I thought about Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, yeah.
And he's very successful.
How about
and
that?
that's what I'm saying. When you look at
He's got a sleepy eye.
level of confidence, I'm telling you, because I know this particular female. When I first met her,
Don't make it dragged out,
I was like, I'm going to drag whatever out.
Because we have a next segment.
I understand that.
All right.
And with that being said,
She's a storyteller.
I thought that, to me, it was like very unattractive to kind of say, but the men were falling all over her. But because this girl had a level of confidence that I think later on I saw it. I was like, okay, that's what, you know. And of course, beauty is subjective.
It is.
But, you know.
Yeah, because that's where you break down preferences and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Okay, so that's what I would fix. And like I say, these are things that
wrap it up. We
can
got
be fixed.
stuff to go next.
Yeah, don't try me. I can do what I want. I'm the lead.
It's what we would fix, not what we want. Let's be clear, because this is going on the national radio. This is what we would fix ourselves, not that we want people to tell us what they think we need to fix. Don't tell me what I need to fix. Just know that I know what I need to fix.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get our game in, and then we can get the conversation started because we got some good ones tonight. I feel these are good topics. So would you rather is just simple. If you've never listened before and this is your first time here, I'm going to ask you just would you rather? Tab like to go another way. She can deflect.
Speaking
she gets
of,
into the
don't make me call you out when you deflect.
Now that's fine.
Or not want to answer.
I'm willing to accept accountability.
You will have to because I will be here to
That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Check.
So we'll ask you. I'm gonna ask you why you picked it, but we just let it out. Okay, just May.
Okay.
You can give me a short answer. We just imagine actually why you picked it. Okay. So, all right, here we go. Would you rather be stuck in traffic for an hour every day, or have 30 minutes, or have a 30-minute walk to work?
Stuck in traffic for an hour.
You just.
I would rather have that 30-minute walk if I had some trees and a sidewalk.
Okay.
30-minute walk, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
It's
triggers,
so
right?
relieving.
Traffic triggers me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It relieves stress.
You know what? At this journey in my life, I think I'll take the walk because I'm always up and in the gym early. So I think I'm just going to take the walk and get the steps in. Now, we talking about what my location of work is. Y'all know about 30 minutes. Take me a little longer. All right. Would you rather be able to remember every conversation that you've had, or be able to forget anything you want?
Well, I already forget stuff now, so I'll just go with that.
Forget every
Please.
conversation.
Now I got a choice because you say anything I want, so I
Yes.
can pick and choose what I forget.
Which one? Yes.
I'll take that. Forget, please, for 200.
Okay.
Forget. I have a great memory. I can remember what people had on, what they wore, what they
That's good.
everything,
That is
and
good.
and I would like to be able to forget something.
Officer, I saw nothing.
Nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know
Forget.
what.
Forget as I
Forget
chose.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to remember because let me tell you why
You
I
probably
want
can't remember.
I remember just in case I have to pull out a receipt or I have to throw it back at you so you know.
So you
no, because
remember.
this is what happened.
Yes.
Especially for people like her, because it'll go.
So, not especially for people like me, because again, we pick and choose on what we remember and what we don't.
Well, I want to remember.
Men
it
are
all.
real good at that.
That's what I'm
Let's
saying.
be
Right,
clear.
right. Men are good
Men
at
are
forgetting.
real
See,
good
we
at forgetting
picked-
what they want
And
to
women
forget.
are good at remembering.
Yes.
We will
Listen,
throw it back at
we
you.
will
You're like,
That's
throw
what
what
the
I'm
hell?
saying. Y'all do it all the
Case in-
time anyway.
So
Case
we
in
already
point.
have that superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point.
That causes more arguments than anything I know.
All
Well,
right.
that's not what happened.
Would you rather be able to taste colors or see sounds?
See sounds.
Look, she's like, ooh.
That's a good
Ain't that a
one.
good one?
Mm-hmm.
Taste colors or see sounds?
See sounds.
Yeah, maybe
I can
see
kinda
sounds.
I think I
taste
want to see
colors.
sounds.
I could
Yeah, we
feel
can
Something
taste
that.
colors
is
kind of
red,
now a little
is
bit.
hot.
Or what
if
we
it's-
interpret them to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
want to see. I
I
want
wanna
to see
see
the
some sounds.
vibrations.
They used to do it in cartoons all the time. We used to see the sounds in cartoons.
I was gonna say they used
Yeah.
to show the sounds.
Yeah.
I think I want to taste some color.
Okay.
That sounds.
What does red taste like?
Right.
Hot.
Oh, right.
Red is typically
Orange. What does orange
Both
taste
of those sound
Yeah.
a little bit like you're on a trip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
some people
take-
already
I've never
see
experienced
sounds
that.
and
Yeah.
tasting
Tasting
colors.
colors.
That
Taste, yeah.
psychedelic drug coming back out. They trying to have you.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather have a passionate but short relationship or a long-lasting but less intense relationship?
So when you say intense, are you meaning good intense or bad intense? Because
Take
intense.
a bit.
If it's less intense, good. I'll take that. I'll take longevity over the short term, over the
Okay.
instant gratification.
Okay, we'll take it.
Wait a
Need me to
minute.
repeat
That
it?
isn't that what he
Okay.
said?
Would you rather have a passionate but short relationship, so it's passion but short, or long-lasting but less intense?
We can't have both of that. That's
It's
we
either
need-
or.
either
Would you
or.
rather?
Would you rather? I done had both, and I will tell you that short intensity of passion was a lifetime of memory. So yeah,
Okay, so she's going with short term.
short term.
Well, I've been married for so long, so
Right.
I will say the steady, long relationship. But it is those short, hot
Yes.
that
That
mature
linger.
you
Yeah.
and
Yes.
give you
Good
I can't think of the
memories.
word, but good memories, but
Yeah.
also the ability to bounce back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, because there's also a lot of times pain
Yeah.
with those short ones, those short, passionate ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
I haven't been in one in about 18 years, but I would say,
Wait a minute.
A
You
short,
haven't been
passionate
in which
or
one?
Neither.
I would say neither, to be honest, but that's because I haven't experienced it like you guys have. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with probably long lasting but intense. Like,
No,
give me
I-
something
isn't
to
that
look
what I
forward to.
just said?
Less intense.
And he said I
But-
couldn't choose
Less
both.
intense.
You know
Longer
what,
and
G?
less intense.
Yeah, that
Less
one.
intense.
Oh,
Yeah, less intense. but long.
okay.
Okay. Would you rather have a one night stand with your celebrity crush or a week long romantic vacation with an ex?
Week long with an ex.
Okay. You need me to read it again? Okay.
A one night stand with Barack Obama.
Okay.
That's my
Michelle,
plan.
she coming for
I-
it.
I-
Okay, not
No, it's
Barack.
cool.
Michelle, can I?
Yeah, I would
yes,
do a
'cause he'll be
one-night
back.
stand
Women
with a
love some
celebrity.
Barack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Who's the
just
celebrity?
sexy, cool, and just
Rock.
class.
Dwayne
The
Johnson.
Oh, Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson.
Ooh, that's my
Okay.
kind of
He
brother.
is fun.
So they going with the one night. You going with the.
Because I want time with it, and then sometimes my celebrities.
They change?
I know, well, not that you change, but I don't want you to destroy my
It's just
my
one
vision
night.
of you.
They should be
Yes.
able to hold it
One
together for
night.
one night.
A guy
Yeah.
holding it together for one night. Okay.
You'll be amazed. They still got some of us out there to hold it together.
I'm not.
Okay.
And what about you?
Janet. One night with Janet.
Ooh, child.
Yeah.
Janet
Or-
is fabulous.
That's probably who it's gonna be.
Or 1 week with the ex.
No, I'll take Janet for
Okay.
1,000. I'll
Okay.
take her. I can't do the X. Get too
Janet
much.
is fabulous.
All right, last one. Would you rather know? Now this is gonna make y'all think. I
Oh.
think I probably asked this before, but would you rather know the date of your death or the causes? Here on ATL Talks Radio, you're listening to Candid Conversations with G and Tabby. We about to dive in these good old candid talks that we have that people otherwise sweep under the rug, but we finna have it. You know how this go.
Yeah.
All right,
Dang,
now
the way you
listen.
look, like you know how this go. That
You
was
know
almost
how
like a
this go.
schoolyard type
Let's
of.
get it.
No, I'm
Let's
about to
get
do
it. Let's
so
get it.
listen, with that being
Do I need to
said-
take off my
No,
earrings?
you do.
Yeah, let's
No,
get it.
we're gonna leave you
Put some
looking good.
Take out the,
Vaseline.
No, you don't.
the bamboo.
You know how this goes. So, with that being said, the disclaimer is we're not by far licensed therapists. We got some attorneys in here
And some coaches.
and some coaches, but we're not therapists.
No.
We are a bunch of adults who get together and let our perspectives combine. Because you may travel one road of thinking, but now you got several different avenues to travel tonight because you might hear something that may help you out. You're like, I never thought about it in that way. So here we go. Y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. So this is one that I wanted to talk about because this resurfaced amongst the conversation that I had with a few of the associates. So, being raised by people who, my parents, not people, being raised by parents.
Parents are
who,
people, though, right?
Shut up. Being
Tell me
raised by people and parents. I have to be extra with her. Who may lack emotional intelligence. Do you feel that it has affected your life in your adulthood and the way that you have structured your life and kind of dictate your life? Do you feel like that has affected you in any way? Now, I'm asking that question because we probably got a couple different generations in here, so I can probably get a perspective from everybody on how it goes. So, I'm going to start with the other radio show host.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So, what do you feel about that?
I think that when we have parents that don't have healthy way of thinking, and it's in my book that's coming out. That's a book plug
Come
right
on,
there.
book.
Riding the Waves of Life. When
That's a good title.
challenges come our way. When we don't have parents that have high emotional intelligence, they tend to lead in a physical way. What worked for them when they were growing up, they saw their parents, how their parents may have reacted or took, things in their own hand, whether it had been physically, discipline the child or not disciplining the child and letting the child do whatever they wanted to do, not really communicating. I think that is really big with our people. We do not sit at the table anymore. We don't sit down and talk about our emotions. I just had a conversation with my kids that are adults now. And I said, listen, if you don't start recognizing the inner turmoil, the things that make you have anxiety about life, if you don't deal with those things, ask questions, find out why you're feeling a certain way, guess what? You're going to grow up to be your grown now, but you're going to continue growing in a stagnant way, and you're not growing in a healthy way. When you begin to start looking at how you really feel about certain things, if you're not happy about it, say it. Don't cover it up and try and please somebody because you think they're going to look at you a different way. And I think we learned how to people please. We wanted to acknowledge our parents. We wanted to honor our parents, but our parents weren't emotionally available. They were working, they were doing the things that they needed to do. But I remember my grandmother used to sit down at the table with me and talk about everything. There was nothing that we could not talk about.
Wow.
Sex. You want to talk about sex? Let's talk about it. What did the guy tell you? What did he want to do with you? Grandma. And so when I started talking to my son like that, he was like, Ma, what are you doing? And I said, if we don't do it, when you get out here in this real world, you're going to find some real heartache. And guess what? He found some real heartache.
Right.
So I think if we get to a place where we can have some emotional dialogue, how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling, if I'm sad, why am I sad? Not I just let them go in the room and close the door, because you're closing the door on your emotional state of mind. And guess what? That's how you learn how to cope with everything.
It is.
You block out everybody and you say, I'll deal with it how I deal with it. But that's not really dealing, is it? It's just coping. And so to answer your question, I think it affects us very deeply. I think our world, if we don't get this under control where we are able to speak our real truth, we're going to have a world of robots where we just are just detached altogether. We see each other, we say hi, we talk, but then we close our doors and we're internally messed up. So I think it does affect us. I think it affects the way we think, the way we love, the way we encounter people, the way we have relationships,
The way we work.
Our business partners. Everything is done through our center being. And emotions come from our center being. And so if we don't tap into that, we lose some sight of realities, whatever that reality is for us. So,
Attorney Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hear what you think. Baby.
So, okay. So for parents, so the question is, how do we think that being raised by emotionally immature parents impacts us, right? So I'm going to take it back a little bit to the core, although you made some really great points. But I think that obviously I benefited from adult, mature parents and a stable household. I was young when I had my first child. I was 25. That's pretty young. And the difference between the 25-year-old our niece mom and the 35-year-old our niece mom, two different things, which my older son reminds me of frequently. So I think that you are definitely impacted. I think that there are wounds that both people suffer. Yeah. I think both the child might suffer from some wounds, some hurt, some heartache, and I think the parent too, because as you mature, you realize more of what you didn't do, what you didn't have, what you lacked in your efforts to raise the children. I think most parents are trying to do the best that they can, right. But if you're emotionally immature, you just don't have the capacity. So you're growing at the same time the child is growing, yeah. Which often puts the child in a situation of trying to parent, right? That parent trying to get the approval, get the attention of the parent, get the parent to parent. Sometimes you're responsible for the other siblings that are in the household. You might have a parent who has a substance abuse problem.
Right.
And then you are really parenting that parent. You might have to buy the groceries, negotiate the bills, talk to the landlord, wake mom up, make sure you get to school, make sure the other kids in the house get to school. So I think that it certainly impacts you. There are lasting wounds, and we've all met some of those wounded people. Mm-hmm. And then there are also some strengths, though, that you can develop from that kind of upbringing. So you can make sugar out of shanola. Mm-hmm. If you're able to.
Yeah.
But you do have to look at it. You do have to address it. You do have to recognize where you are so that you can heal those wounds and not be walking around all open and wounded and messing other people up.
Yeah.
And acting like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with that. One of my Instagram people who are watching, Jared, he says he was adopted by a woman whose parents were from a slave background, to where the women tried to break the men of family, but he got away from that and he survived that whole type of an ordeal. And I was meant to tell y'all this: if y'all have people listening and want to chime in, read their stuff out loud. Okay. And you guys can give us a call as well if you want to give me your feedback. I would love to hear perspective because we like class participation.
We do. This is an interactive show.
Interactive show. So it's 213-292-7601. Again, the number is 213-292-7601. Again, once more, it's 213-292-7601. My tab, I would love to hear your perspective on this topic, dear.
So I'm a mixed bag on this one, right? Definitely good points from both of our guests. I think for me, the reason it's a mixed bag is no matter how you're raised or how the person raised you, the parent, the grandparent, or whomever raised you, you kind of end up making your own choices devoid of their input, right? You have people that were born on the spectrum of, hey, what you call a two-parent household, good, on paper everything looked good, and it was good and all of that, and then they grew up to be the exact opposite of what, you would have thought that environment groomed. And then you have people on the other end grew up in, on paper, what appeared to be the worst scenario. The parent could have been, a substance abuser or had mental issues and things like that, and they grew up to be the person that you would have thought grew up in the other home.
That's true.
So I think life being a series of experiences to grow you, regardless as to what comes at you, I don't know. I wouldn't say that you're not impacted by somebody who's not, who doesn't have, I guess what we're terming now as emotional intelligence. I just don't, when I think about human and our experiences and our choices, that sometimes have nothing to do with what somebody else may have or have not done or gave us or didn't give us. I'm really kind of on the fence because, again, I've seen it both ways, particularly a lot of, friends who they grew up with their dad and they made some of the same decisions that a person who said, hey, my dad wasn't in the house, a single parent household and things like that. So since I see stuff both ways, I'm going to say yes, it affects you, but not to the point where it really drives behavior that you are not ultimately in the driver's seat to respond to.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I wanted to ask that question. Jared said Antoine Fisher. I guess that's a movie you need to watch.
Oh God,
yes.
I asked the question because I really still don't believe people like to accept accountability. The first thing that happens is when something some disarray happens or something that goes not to the person's liking. They're like, well, this is the way that I was raised, and I didn't have the support, and even though you made the choices, like you said, they go back to this is why the way I am because I didn't have parents that did such and such, and they didn't think about me, especially if you're in a household where there's more than one child.
Right.
Because then somebody's going to feel like the other one was a favorite, or she didn't even like me. She liked the babies in the middle. It goes.
I'm getting that now.
Yeah. So yeah.
From your kids?
For my kids, I got 4, and they're like, well, you gave the other one more attention, and there's always excuses. But that's why I talk about the emotional intelligence piece, because we have to talk about what we're feeling when the kids are young. You have to ask them, how are you feeling? What's going on? Don't just let them cry and have temper tantrums and then give them a candy bar, because that's not going to work.
But
when they grow up,
You're going to raise
That's how
each kid differently, though.
Exactly. Because
So-
everybody's an individual. I raised
Exactly.
my kids as individuals. I didn't raise my kids to be like everybody else. I wanted them to enjoy what they wanted to enjoy. If they liked a certain sport, go for it. If they like to do painting, drawing, whatever it was, I backed them wholeheartedly.
So what about? And I
But
agree,
accountability is real hard
and
for adults these days.
even with the past generations,
It is.
for kids, because back in the day, you couldn't say shit to
That's
your
right.
parents.
That's
You couldn't
exactly
say
right.
nothing.
Right.
So you're telling me, well, maybe not going forward, but it's like you want me to possibly say how I'm feeling and risk getting my behind kicked or punished or whatever because I'm telling you how I feel, which is why I respect kids now.
Right.
Because they're not being disrespectful, in my opinion. They're just literally asking questions. I love to use your example all the time. So, you went to college for 4 years. You racked up all kinds of college debt, and you still ain't found the job and the degree you got. How does that work for you? Because that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
And I'm asking the question because I generally want to know
Right.
the
Math is not
answer. Is not me
mathing.
being disrespectful.
Right. But it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Help me out.
Right,
Help
so
me
make
out.
me understand. And they're really out here trying to go get, which is why you have a lot of people not in that age bracket. I think it's whatever.
Gen
generation
Z.
Yeah, Z's and X and
No,
Alphas.
we're
'cause
X's.
that's
I think
coming
we're
up next.
X. Yeah,
Yes.
we're X.
It's-
Alpha.
Alpha's going to be the next one.
Yeah, it is alpha.
They are literally, they have a little bit more freedom to do a little bit more. You're not seeing them working traditional 9-to-5s. They're out here
Right.
getting money the way they need to get it.
That's right.
Media presence,
Creating.
influencing, creating, all this
Roles
stuff. And they're getting money that I probably will never. I'm
Don't say that.
But they've gotten money that I've never seen in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
how in the hell? You know? And people are like, oh, these kids these days, they're so disrespectful. No, they're just not going down the path that you went down because we all know that parenting doesn't come with a manual. They don't give you one at birth and say, okay, well, you decided to have this child. Here's the manual. So from day one to month 9, this is what you do.
It's tough,
of
though.
the class.
Well, we talked about that.
It's
tough.
They did give you
It's
a
tough.
manual. Who reads the
Right.
manual?
Yeah.
We
this
put
is
together
true.
Who put
stuff
the-
and have
who put
screws
the-
left over and then figure out that they didn't know what they were talking about. You didn't
Exactly.
need all those screws.
Yeah.
As long as you needed them, but eventually
But
things
you
fall
pasted
apart.
it
But
together,
it looks
that's all
good.
Right?
It looks good for a minute. Eventually, it starts showing the wear and tear of that screw that didn't get in the right bolt didn't happen, and then it starts leaning after a few years. But we get the analogy. But
It's
I
true.
truly think too that kids or adult children are using some of that as an excuse not to be responsible. I'm going to use an example. I can't think of his name now. He's on Love and Hip Hop, and oh God. And his son actually was having him, he took care of his son's bills, his car note, his insurance, and he was living with them.
I
And
remember talking about Mendici.
yes. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God. He called the bank and his son called the bank. The son had $1 million in his savings account.
What?
He's been living with Mendici. And it's on his dime.
It's Yandy's and Medici's son. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's been living in his house, and Medici's been paying his car note, his insurance, and he had $1 million in the bank. And I think that right there is disrespectful. I think that's where the disrespect comes.
But who's to say? No, this is me.
I know this
Now, who's
is
to say that's the way their parent is disrespectful? That's that's probably their way of saying, I have your funds. I got my eyes on it. You're not out here doing nothing.
No. Mendici didn't know about the $1 million.
Okay. So
but
he
The
was making his
son
own
was
money.
making money
Okay.
as an influencer and
Yeah.
using the fact that his father and mother are popular,
Yeah.
right? He's making money, putting it in the bank, and having his mom and dad still paying for his
I don't
car.
believe
in
that
the
they
apartment.
didn't know. Maybe they didn't
No,
know it was
I
$1
believe
million,
they knew. I
but
believe
they
they
knew
knew.
something was
They
going
had
on.
that.
They had to know.
You
something.
didn't see
Well,
his
How old is he?
You didn't see his
I think
reaction.
He's 1920.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
1920.
Young.
So
Yeah.
what was he doing? What did they think he was doing?
I'm telling you, I had
Well, they know
children,
he's an influencer.
and that's what they do. Nowadays, they will have their own money.
Yes, this is
and
so.
then use your money and act like it's what's the big deal?
Oh,
And I'm like,
but I mean,
girl.
what I'm saying, yeah, you always, we always,
That
you
is
know,
true.
when we first learned about our money and our parents' money, we were all like, okay,
Yes.
spend yours, I'm gonna save mine.
Right.
Yes.
So,
That ain't
think
But a
right.
million?
in that instance, though, sometimes you wonder, though, but what was the expectation set? Right?
Exactly.
I
So
get all
if
of that.
you just kept paying my bills and you never asked me to, grow up and to, hey, okay, now I'm going to let you pay this, whether, you're working at Quick Trip or wherever, I'm going to give you some responsibility, but
Right.
I just take it upon myself. I think sometimes, and this is what we do, even when we're helping grown people, we will assume that we have to save the day.
Kim say mine, spend mine to save theirs.
Right.
That's what I'm
That's
saying. That's the
natural reaction
disrespect
of a
that's
kid.
going on.
That's
Right.
true.
That's the natural reaction of a kid.
What happened then with that $1 million? Because the next thing would be there would be a moving truck outside.
Oh, he said
and
that.
his stuff would have
here's
been in it.
what-
said
I guess
that.
these are fans that watch the show.
Yeah, what
Oh,
happened?
okay, what
They're
happened?
I
saying
wanna
that
know.
Yandy, who is the stepmom, made him put that money in savings because they know he'll be out there getting anything and everything. So
Okay.
she knew what was going on.
But the
They
daddy
made
didn't.
him. I don't know if the father knew. or
Okay,
not,
that
she knew,
Okay.
and which means until she tells them everything. So
Yeah.
I'm sure she told them.
Okay.
That your son has.
Well,
this
I don't
money
know.
money.
Sometimes, women
But
will
you
keep
don't
that
know.
side of
Sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
sometimes
side
we will
account.
hold
You
the
know,
kid's secret.
And and I think
That's
those
what
one
I'm
of the things we'll never know the answer to. They did open the world up for those conversations.
Yeah,
by
that's
going
a
on the show.
conversation.
But
Sure did.
it ain't my house. It ain't my business. I'm gonna drink this water.
And I'm going to say it
Okay.
again. They need to put his butt out with that $1 million. He's got a great down payment
Right.
wherever he wants to live.
That's what I'm saying.
Whatever
I don't
city.
know.
That's
$1
all
million
I'm
will
saying.
get
Just
you
contribute to this
anywhere,
household. You don't
even
have to
New
move
York
out.
and LA.
You can contribute to this household. So now you'll be
I
paying
know I
your
wouldn't be
own
paying
you
that
may
car
not
note
know
no
made
more.
that kind of money.
He should get out.
Yeah.
She's grown.
Why?
Because I need my elbow.
Gee,
room.
why you want him?
No, I'm just asking
Because
questions.
grown
I'm
people,
asking.
because in addition, instead of contributing to the household, which is cute, he needs to learn how to support himself.
Okay.
Now you've
So
got
you
this
one of those
million.
families that when your kid hits
18.
you out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tab, how do you feel about it? Because your daughter
College
just hit
or
that
out?
number.
Oh no. For me, I've
Her daughter
talked to
just
my
hit
daughter.
the
She, she wants to travel a little bit, get some experience. I told her, you don't have any kids or anything like that. I'm fine with you staying home. This is her first, she graduated this year, so I told her that, hey, I'm gonna let you ride out the rest of the year, kind of, figuring out some stuff, playing around with your money. Come next year, we'll talk about your contributions to the house. Which,
There you go.
Right.
At this time, I don't think
Is she 18 or 22? What?
19.
19. Okay.
So, I don't, if she decided to move out and do some own things, but I did tell her, like, hey, right now, again, you don't have any kids and stuff like that. You should be a little bit more strategic about your money and stuff like that. But now, if I ever did find that she had $1 million to the side, again, for me, hey, you can contribute to this house. If you want to
That's
move out,
it.
fine.
Yeah. Now, if one of
That's
my
it.
kids had $1 million in the
That's
bank,
it.
we'd be needing to spend it at my house.
Yes.
But
You could stay.
But these are celebrities.
as
They
long
don't
as you
need. They don't
contributing.
need their kids $1 million.
Yeah.
We
I
got
don't necessarily
Carrie
need it.
is watching.
Yes, what is Carrie
Carrie,
talking about?
Carrie's not saying
Hi,
anything.
Carrie.
She's just enjoying the show.
Well, thank you
But,
for listening and watching, Carrie.
Carrie, what do you think? Your kid lives at home with you, and they got $1 million in the bank.
We have $1 million.
They're paying for
I
rent.
love that. Tab says we have $1
I
million
think I'll be a
in the
little
bank.
different. I guess
What would you
because
do?
I would let my kid make his money.
Yeah.
I would let him or she or whoever, because I know the struggle that I am currently going through and went through financially, right? If you got a safe space, you're not out here doing nothing illegal, you're not out here doing nothing that's going to hurt nobody, you're doing it, you're making your money honestly, save it. Now I might say, okay, now you didn't hit up 3 million. Okay, now son or daughter, okay, you good. You should be able to. I would even probably, if I could afford, give them a financial advisor to just make sure when they do get out the house, they are spending it correctly, not blowing it or
Nudge
anything like
them
that.
out of the
No.
nest.
I mean,
I
I can
think
teach you responsibility in my house.
Yeah,
I can
there
teach
you
you
go.
how to do
That's
But
stuff
that's why
true.
you'll
inside the
pay
house.
some bills here.
Yeah, so
There you
once
go.
you can pay some.
There
You
you
can
go.
I'm
pay
not gonna force
everything.
it.
If you have $1 million,
No, you're gonna have to
You
pay
know
you
what
some
I'm
can
saying?
pay
bills.
every
But
bill.
I just, because I would do the gentle parenting thing, but I'll make sure that it's structured enough to where you have, responsibility, but I'm not just going to be like, okay, you 18, you can get the hell on out now. I'm not going to do that to my kid if clap.
No, we won't do that.
No.
But
Most
they
of y'all
need
do.
to. But we need to have them paying if they're out and they're doing something productive, and they're working hard. You want them to grow and mature and learn how to take care of their finances.
If I gave you $1 million at 19 years old, you gonna go out there and blow the hell out of it.
Well, that's
That's
what our
exactly
point.
right.
That's
Yeah.
our point.
Yeah.
So we give them a small thing to take care of, so that they learn how to finance and deal with their financing. And I think it's important. I mean, you start them out young with the the bank accounts and everything.
Carrie has 3 kids. Carrie, would you let your kids stay in your house if they had $1 million?
Well, we
in the
off
bank?
topic because we was talking about emotional intelligence. We talking about millions.
That is
That's not what we're gonna do. So we're gonna move on. 8 o'clock here on ATL Talks Radio.
Yay.
You're listening to Candid Conversations with G and Tabby. Yeah, thank you, Anika. Somebody agrees. Can't put your kids out that fast, man. That's just crazy.
18 is young.
Especially in this climate.
Yeah, we wouldn't put them out.
Nah, I can
Put
see
'em in
back in the
college.
day,
We
but
just
in
put
this
'em in
climate,
college.
yeah, nah. So let's talk about recognizing. We know one of our nieces, traffic. Let's talk about recognizing your triggers. Let's talk about that for a moment because some people just don't understand or recognize what ticks them off. Some people go from 0 to 100 immediately. Some people know what triggers and they be looking for them. And some triggers will send you an emotional spiral if you don't know how to handle them. So since traffic triggers you, we're going to start with you first.
It does. It does.
Tell us about your triggers and how do you recognize them and what do you do to kind of like take yourself out of those spaces?
So, well, I'll tell you. Okay, so one of the triggers is definitely traffic. And I grew up in Los Angeles. So you would think that I should have some sort of mechanism to handle that. But in LA, people can drive. Other places, people don't drive as well as we do in LA. In LA, we know how to drive. You don't even drive in New York. And so New Yorkers don't drive. So you can wave your hand out the window. People will let you in. They're courtesies. One person goes, the next person goes. One person goes, the next person goes. Don't create gridlock by sitting in the middle of the intersection when the light is red. There are things that because it's a driving city, we know how to drive better. So I'm very triggered by not being able to get off the freeway and go north, south, east, and west on a full thoroughfare. You feel my trigger, right? You can feel how I feel about this. And so when I'm locked in traffic on the freeway, I have road rage. So I avoid that. I've created a life that's near my home. I find alternative routes. I will take the long way to not be in traffic. That's one, and it's scenic, right? Atlanta's beautiful, so I get beautiful trees. And then the other thing is music. So you will see me, listening to Lenny Kravitz, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, something kind of rock, or a really good R&B song when I'm on the freeway, just to break up the monotony.
Okay, now let's not talk about like that.
Okay.
Because traffic is...
Everybody's triggered.
Everybody. Give me something else.
Oh,
maybe.
Why?
Because you're on the show where we talk candidly.
Okay.
Give me something else. Maybe it's a client that may trigger you. Maybe it's something in your backstory that triggers you now if you hear it. Maybe you had a situation where something happened when you was little Foster.
Okay.
And then, it still affects you now as the attorney Foster.
So, okay. So I'll go very candid.
There we go. I like that word.
Yeah, I know you do. No one can trigger you like the people closest to you.
There you go.
And so I would say, like with Keith, who was my husband, what triggers me with Keith is when he's pretending to listen but not listening. Giving me that, yeah. And I'm like, are you watching the game? Are you texting? Are you looking at? I can listen and watch the game and text and do. I'm like, no, you can't. You cannot multitask. So multitasking and my husband doing it while I'm trying to talk to him triggers me.
All right,
we got to call in.
Call in on that.
I hope it's not Keith.
Candid Conversations. What's your name and where you calling from?
Dallas in the house.
What's up, Dallas, Texas? How you doing tonight?
Louisiana in the house. I just live in Dallas. I'm
Okay.
Louisiana. You hear that? New
You
Orleans.
better know what's up. What's going on with you, man?
So I was listening to y'all about the triggers. So for me, like when I notice certain triggers, like maybe some that stem from childhood, like one of my triggers is I don't like controlling men. So when
Mm.
I see any type of red flag, because I grew up with a controlling man, my father is controlling. So when I see that red flag, I immediately just cut it off. I
Mm.
immediately just like I'm done with it. And then another one of my triggers is I don't like people who don't take accountability because a lot of
Oh,
people that I grew up around don't take accountability, including some of the
no
adults that we grew
accountability.
up with. So when I see friends or somebody like that, or just people that I talk to in general, I kind of steer clear of those people because it'll trigger me and then it'll bring the worst out of me. Because I take accountability. I know if I made a mistake, I try to admit it. Nobody's perfect, but those are my two triggers that I just steer clear because I don't want to go to 0 to 1,000.
Oh, she said
It's a
1,000.
1,000, not
Well, thank
100.
you for that,
Tens.
man. We appreciate that. She
1,000.
said her accountability. Her triggers are accountability and men
I
who are
am with
controlling.
that.
Okay.
I am
I'm
with the
so on that
accountability
one.
thing.
Yes.
Just own
Yeah.
it.
Thank you
Just
so much for calling. We
own your
appreciate it, darling.
issues.
Keep
Yes.
listening.
Keep
Bye
listening.
bye.
Own your issues.
Yeah, not that
I can
she
ditto,
put a
ditto,
whole,
ditto on that
Yes.
one.
she put a
Own
whole
your
lot.
issues.
Yeah.
When people do not own what they've done and they don't apologize, ooh, that triggers me
Me
because
too.
I'm like, just own it. It's okay. Just say you're sorry and keep it moving. Oh my goodness. Like, own that.
I
If you
agree.
messed up, so what? Let's keep it going. But
Yeah.
that triggers me, really does.
That
And
does.
then the whole abusive thing. If you have someone even in business, if they're not respectful, like they talk to you and downplay who you are, that triggers me as a woman in business.
Mhm.
I'm very triggered by that, and I'm working on that. But yeah, those are
As a
triggers.
black woman in business,
Oh yes, I can walk in a room and all the men don't look like me, right? I'm the only one in with my nice tan, and I'm a female,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, are you bringing the coffee?"
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you breaking the
But-
coffee.
but the benefit of being underestimated.
Hello.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
by the
Tam
time
gets it.
and
I
by
love
the
that.
time we're finished with the meeting, everybody's shaking my hand and saying, "My goodness, the presentation was awesome. Can we move forward?" So that's the benefit
Yes.
that they downplay us, but it does trigger me.
Can I just mention?
Hold on, let me read this real quick.
Okay.
Kim. Hi, Kimberly, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Hi,
Louisiana is in
Kimberly.
the
Uh,
house.
she's
Baton
on
Rouge.
she's on Instagram and she says she's a teacher and she says
Ooh.
her trigger is when her pre-K students say what to her when she asks them the
Oh
question.
yes, that's got to
She said she almost had to turn into her mama.
be.
Miss Janice, we love you, baby. Yeah, so yeah.
Don't turn
similar
into your
thing.
mom.
Don't turn into your mom. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think we just saw a sister, a melanated sister, who surprised a lot of people.
Hello.
And not everybody. I wasn't surprised by the performance last Tuesday. I knew she was gonna bring it.
Yes.
But I do think that she was underestimated, and so when she showed up prepared and
Articulate.
poised and articulate, people were surprised.
This
I know. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I.
Yeah,
she
this-
was triggered. She was triggered, but
She
she
was
caught
triggered.
it. She caught it.
She did.
She caught it.
this
Tab.
that's her favorite word.
MF.
Let's talk about your triggers, Tab.
Which
I
would be
think
fun.
Yeah,
my
that would-
triggers, believe it or not, I'm at the stage where I'm doing so much self-reflection. I make sure that it's not me, right? But the trigger in this instance, if I'm going to talk specifics, is closed-mindedness, right? I just want you not to agree, but to, have an open mind about, it could be more than one thing can be true because all of our experiences are relative.
Right.
So what's true for me doesn't necessarily have to be true for you, but it is true, right? Because it's true for me. So that's a specific one. But even with then, I'm really learning to, take a look to see again what about that in you is triggering me because you have the absolute right to be closed-minded. And I have the absolute right to not to interact with you, so that I'm not experiencing that.
All these triggers.
And those triggers. But I definitely, if you're closed-minded, that could kind of irk my nerves, as we used to say back in the day.
And these are valid triggers, people. Yeah, these are valid
What's
things.
your trigger, G?
What's
You got
not?
time?
What's the short?
You got
We
time?
do. It's your
What's
show.
not a trigger?
Your show.
You got the main mic. I think you told
We
us
know
that
people are your
early.
trigger. People are trigger.
Well, no, okay, so I will say this. Anybody who knows me, which you're probably the person that knows me the longest in the room and the people that follow me or whatever, I was absolutely in love with people. It wasn't until just recently that they're starting to annoy me. And it's little stuff like when you're working in, I had to take an unfortunate setback and start working a second job and all this stuff to make ends meet and stuff like this, right? Which is very annoying to me, but
That's a trigger.
that is. But when you are dealing with the public and you're dealing with so many energies and so many different personalities, and people are now on edge, like from pandemic on down. So people are on edge, and people are taking their problems, situations, whatever, out on the person that's in front of them.
Right. Spewing it on
And
you.
it's spewing, like you said earlier. I take that in, and it does something to my whole presence.
I'm going to show you something that somebody showed me to do to relieve yourself of that.
Yeah, I would love that. So people just, I don't want to say this, it disappoints me that people project.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with the person that you're projecting on. It's all self-inflicting or whatever you have dealing with, whatever you're dealing with, you're not dealing with it.
Yeah.
So you want to project it on somebody. This is why we have so many senseless shootings and things like that. We don't know. People are on edge and we don't know what's going on. So, you know, to defend myself, I try to think about what my buddy says over here. You know, these situations are learning lessons. These are things you need to learn by taking on these different personalities and dealing with different people. And I swear, the learning lesson, Lord, I don't want it.
I don't want
I don't want it. I just don't want to deal. But that triggers me a lot. And then, you know, stuff from childhood triggers me too. Like certain songs I can hear on the radio takes me back to a place where something happened to me when I was younger, and it'll trigger me to be in a sad space. Or I can smell something that took me to a place that may trigger me to take some, or I see something on TV. It could be something really simple. The trick is trying to learn how to navigate through them.
That's it.
So if you're letting them take over you,
Yeah.
that's when it becomes a problem. Thank God for God and therapy.
Yes.
And one of the tricks, though, is to reframe it.
Yes.
Right? Because there was, at one point, I had a cousin that passed away under violent circumstances, young cousin. And so at the time that they gave me the news, we were playing the R. Kelly.
I'm sorry. That damn Malcolm. Go ahead, boo. I'm going to read this comment in a minute.
Yeah, but no, anyway, I mean, that song, because I associated that song every time I heard that. But then when I started to think that, okay, I really like this song. I really like this song, so I don't want to be thinking about that every time I think of the song. Yeah. So even though it comes up really quickly, I go ahead and reframe it and just listen to the song. Okay, let me just enjoy the song. Yeah. And something that I was a privilege to studying just recently in a seminar. What the guy said was, nothing has meaning until you give it meaning.
Oh, so true.
You have to assign the meaning to it.
Yeah.
Like
That's
the word
exactly
itself
right.
is just that, but it's until you attach your feelings, your memories, your this, your that.
Yeah.
But if you learn to look at it as a neutral scenario, similar to what I did with the song, and not knowing that that's kind of how I was doing it, but I reframed the meaning of it. What it meant to me, right? The song no longer means that, okay.
That memory.
Right.
That
it's just a
you
good
like
song.
the damn song.
Oh, yes.
Right. Jared, learning lessons is like a pack of zebra bubble gum. I'm finished.
Oh, not the zebra. I'm sorry to say I remember that bubble gum.
Right, I remember that too. Malcolm, now this is my comic relief.
Oh, goodness.
He said, what triggers him? This is why I cracked up.
Oh, Lord.
What triggers me is with someone who has bad breath trying to tell me a secret. so stupid, but I can't take it no more.
I agree.
That is funny.
So
That is
good.
hilarious.
You're like,
Mhm.
you can tell me from over there.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't need to know.
How about write it down and text it to
Oh,
y'all?
my
Ain't getting to say
goodness.
it.
Tell somebody
Well,
else.
that's what I told
Get
y'all.
somebody
Bring them
else to do it.
peppermints. Let's come
That's
on
funny.
now.
That was
Come on.
That's hilarious.
Oh, no, the
though.
person
Tell them
that
we
has
got
bad
peppermints
breath
up
and they
in
won't
here.
Take the mint. The person that had bad
Tell
breath, they
Malcolm
won't
we
take
got
the mint, and you're like,
Yes.
take
Yeah,
Those
you're
are the
like,
main
would you like a
ones.
piece of gum?
Those
Nah,
are the
I
main
don't
ones.
want
Don't
it.
want
Gum.
any.
8:15 here on ATL
Take
Talks
the
Radio. You're listening to Candid Conversations with G and Tabby. We have just conquered and talked about being raised by emotional, intelligent parents. Does that affect you as an adult now? And we've talked about triggers. But I want to talk about why is our world fixated on labeling people and things so much nowadays? Can somebody explain it to me why this is happening? We have to be a label now instead of being the name and social security number we came in here with.
what's your
Can
label?
somebody tell me?
Your
But
label.
we've always labeled. We've always labeled. That is how our little lizard brain is able to process the world. We got to have labels. That's red, that's green, it's tall, it's
It's hot.
short, it's fat, it's hot, that's safety. It's big, it's little, it's male, it's female. That's just the way we are made so that we can process all this vast world that comes at us.
I like it.
Yes.
What about you,
Well,
man?
I don't know. I mean, what label are we talking
I'm
about?
talking about all
Label.
kinds of labels.
There's too many labels.
You got-
There's way too many labels. It's labels for everything and everybody wants to put everybody in a category.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just too much. It's way too much. And it's with social media and all of the things that we deal with, if you're not labeled correctly, that just messes your whole groove up.
Mm-hmm, it does.
You can't get a job. You can't you can't do what you're supposed to do because your label's messed up. So I don't know about this labeling thing. I mean, the labeling has gotten out of hand. Like they label everything now. You're labeled black, or if you're labeled good, you're labeled this, you're labeled that, you're labeled hood, you're labeled this. What is all of that? I remember we just had a few labels. Now it's so many labels. What we gonna do about it, G?
I don't know. That's why we're having the conversation.
Okay.
But Jared said, because we've lost control, we have moved forward, and the rest of the world has not yet. Half of them can't even use a computer or a cell phone who doing the labeling.
That's true.
What you think, ma'am?
Well, I mean, I agree with, I'm going to say Attorney Foster, because she's earned the right to be called Attorney Foster, also known as our niece. But, I mean, definitely we have to label things. That's how we take in information, process it, and bring it down to bite size. I think what we're experiencing now is an extreme of a rigid definition within that label, right? So if I say you're a girl, then I'm telling you what you can and cannot do, and things like that. When the original label was just to distinguish you from the guy, from what I call the male. So once you take it to the point where now your definition of it puts me in a box, right, and I can't get out of the box, then that's where you have to look at who's doing the labeling, right? Who has the power to influence things with that label, such as like a lawmaker, right? When you're, putting a rigid definition on something, it has impact.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I just myself saying something to either one of you, no power at all unless you give it power, right?
Right.
But it's when, again, we kind of do what humans do. We one extreme to the other. Something about balance is just not fun.
It's not fun.
So, we go to the extremes on things. But I think, again, that's where the evolution of the generations are kind of showing us where I won't be controlled by your label, right? Your
Right.
definition of me means nothing. I'm going to do and be who I want to be, and you deal with it.
Yeah, but how many labels we got? I remember looking at an application. They had 10 labels for gender. They had...
Is that true? 10?
Yes, 10. They had 10 based on the male and female. Like, by the time you
He,
counted
her,
it...
him, them,
Yes,
Okay.
it was 10.
Okay, because it was
Like
she, her.
that... And then you have... Once you decide which label you're going to choose, then there's other labels. Are you disabled? And then the disabilities, there was about 50 disabilities that you could be labeled. So where do we stop with the label? It used to be, hey, this is what I am, this is what I am, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to be, and either you did it or you didn't do it. But now there's too much choice. That's what I was saying earlier. I think when we have so much choice, the people that haven't quite made up where they fit in, it makes them hard to know who they really are. So yes, you're right, Attorney Foster. We do have to have labels to understand where we fit, right? Where we're going, where our direction is. But then if you have too much choice, you don't know how to dive into who you really are to be.
Yeah.
And so we need to kind of bring that focus back. I think it's just gotten too many choices.
But then when you check the other box, so if you limit my choices, right, if you go down to, let's just say I'm going to narrow it down to 2, and then the other box is other, then what?
In the mic, dear.
So when you limit
There you
it,
go.
you know what I'm saying, and then you put other, then what? How would
We
you?
function with other for how many years?
Do you really function?
I don't know if we functioned or not. I'm just saying now at this point it's a lot of labels.
So turn around, you get
it's
a label.
another
You get a
label. You get a label.
It's a lot of labels. But
It's a lot of labels.
You can pick one, or
You can
cannot,
choose not
or
to
you
pick
can
one.
pick multiples.
Right.
I think
I
they're
don't
trying
know.
to be inclusive. And
They are.
then
They're
you're
trying to be
find the
inclusive.
middle ground, because as soon as I forget one label,
Then
you're blasting me, saying that I don't think about you guys.
Right.
And I'm thinking about everybody else.
That's
So
what
it's
I'm
almost
saying.
Maya,
It is too
So
much.
should we just call everybody
It's
plus?
a
Plus.
Pandora box.
My
It's a
assistant,
Pandora
my
box.
assistant
How
is
old are
here.
you?
I'm 26.
Okay,
Okay,
is
so
good.
this is
good.
real
Oh,
good.
yeah.
This is perfect.
This is
for
a good
her.
number.
Yes.
So let me ask you
Hey,
how.
Carla. Hey,
I hate to
Virginia.
put you on the spot, but I'm glad your age bracket is here. How do you
Kathy.
feel about the whole label thing?
I think we just got to get out of everybody's business. Like, I feel like,
Come on, somebody.
I just feel like I shouldn't know all that until I know you, right? So I feel like, you can't hold me accountable. Like she mentioned labels, I used to work at a gym, right? If I sign someone at the gym, they're either male or female, making their account. What I see is what I say, right? I don't know that. And so I put it in there like that. Yes, of course. Now, if you tell me, hey, this is what, I should respect that and move forward. It shouldn't be an argument. She should be like, but no, I see and you are and you must be. It should just be, this is who I am. Move on. I shouldn't make no decisions. I don't think we should take away, I don't think this is what you were saying, but just from what I'm saying, like the choice thing, you can have, be a colorful banana. I don't care. Like, you can have as many choices as you want. I also feel like we shouldn't stick someone in that box either. Like, we know plenty of kids that you want to stick it to gender that say, I was a tomboy growing up. And people, now their parents are like, oh no, she might be gay or trans or whatever the case may be. And you try to push them that way because you want to be hyper supportive. Just let people be. So whatever I want to label and just get out their business. I just feel like it shouldn't take over too much of the conversation. But not this conversation, the general conversation.
Come up to the mic a little bit. They can't hear you.
It shouldn't take up too much of the conversation. People should be allowed to be who they want to be. When they tell you what it is, be respectful, be mindful. But again, don't be upset if someone didn't catch you on the first look. If I didn't see it, if I didn't realize that, if I just went off what I know, you mentioned like perspective and what I see and where I come from. So where I come from, people look like this are this, then that's what I'm gonna assume.
Cut me a little slack.
Yeah, give me a minute. A learning curve.
That's it.
And so I just think just be mindful, but also just don't take it too.
I think that's, thank you for that perspective. I think that's I think that's more so of what the issue is. People don't like to let people be, and they like to take their opinions and deflect them on other people. What other people should do should be their damn business. Mind yours, drink your water,
business.
and take care of what's under your roof first.
They got to drink water.
Yeah, you can drink some water. You need to hydrate because you're thirsty trying to be in other people's shit.
That's
Leave
it.
people alone.
Leave them alone.
Like if you just let
it's
people
just too
be,
many.
but I think social media has made it so bad where
too
people
much.
always want to be in somebody's business.
Yeah.
And if you go, like I was telling them last week, I will look at the shit down. I will look at the shade room and I will read it. And the first thing I do is I literally run to the comments because I'm trying to see what they finna say about people. Like, why y'all even... But people quick to have thumb thugs. They thumb thugs. They'll tell you, but get up in somebody's face.
Yeah, that's right. It's the anonymity.
All that ain't coming out. But because everybody is around the world giving their opinion, it's supposed to matter. It doesn't. People gonna do what they want to do anyway. It doesn't matter. Do some
Tell
people
the
look for
lawmakers
acceptance? Yeah, tell the lawmakers that. You know what I'm saying?
It's too much judgment.
It's just a lot of judgment where we are, and people
too
just
much
don't
judgment.
want people to be who they want to be, and that's why you cannot get in authentic people in your circles.
That's right.
Because people don't want to open themselves up enough to share with you or tell you something, because you're gonna be quick to
Try and put them in a box.
Rolodex,
Yeah.
throw them in the box, and that's why. And I hate to say this. This is gonna sound real funky for what I'm about to say, but it's a candy show. If you ever see a gay guy and a girl, they come off to be the best friends amongst life. Piss the girl off and see what happens.
Right.
Piss the gay off.
Piss the gay off.
Yes.
Right.
But piss the girl off. I'm saying it because I've seen this with my own. Piss the girl off. Or you every this, that. You can told all the secrets. Now these people have shared things with you on both spectrums.
Yeah.
You've shared things with people. You think you're opening up and trying to be authentic, trying to get that tribe built. And then the second somebody says something out of pocket or something out of whack, it's all downhill. Now well, maybe you should forgive and win the land of. Well, that could have been all halted had you just been yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Just be truthful
I'm
to
a
who
really
you are.
good secret keeper. I would say.
That's me too.
too.
Like you
Me
tell me
too.
something.
You tell me something, it's there.
I've always been that way,
It's a
because it's
vault, me
not
too.
even, and it's put me in some bad situations sometimes, because people have shared. I have a friend group. One has shared. I know this person. They told me, if you start up the conversation, hey, I got something to tell you, but it stays here. That's where it's staying. If you come to me questioning me, I'm gonna tell you to go over there. Don't come to me. But then I get the battle axe.
Right.
Because
you get in trouble.
Oh, you knew the whole time, but that's not my place.
Right.
That's
Have
not
you
my
ever
place
had?
to tell you.
Have you
That's
ever
that
had somebody
empathetic
say,
person.
"I want to tell you something," and you're like, "Don't tell me.
Don't
I
tell
don't
me.
want to
I got
know.
that too.
Yes.
I don't want to be in on that."
Yeah,
secret.
I don't want it.
Yes.
I don't want no part. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that we build. Okay, let's take it back to my time. I'm an ex, I think. I'm an ex. I'm 40 plus. So, in my time, there were no cell phones. There were no. I came up in the era where there was a line in the house, and your mama can pick up the line and hear your conversation.
Yes. And you were like,
That's
"Hang
the
up
era
the
that I
phone."
came from.
Me
Get
too.
your ass on the phone to some school.
Yes.
Click, and you
Click.
got bad.
8 o'clock. 8
Uh-huh.
o'clock.
Do you know
No
what
phone
time it
calls
is?
after
You asking
8.
a friend, do you know what time it is?
No calls after 8.
Don't call this house after this time.
That's
There
right.
you go. I come from that era, right? So, I think back then our circles were more authentic because we didn't have everybody inserting unless it was a
That's
verbal
All the gossiping that was
transaction.
going on.
But I'm saying it wasn't as bad as it is now, to me, in my opinion, because everybody wants a piece of something that don't even have nothing to do with them.
Right.
They want to insert their opinions. They want to be able to voice their thoughts. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but they think that, though, because you're putting it in a public forum, right? So people that don't want people to give them feedback usually turn off their comments.
No, I agree, but
So-
but I shouldn't. I should be able to have the freedoms if I decide to sign up for media to be able to have my thoughts and everything. Okay, people used to get on me about my media, right? Because I was real. I would say what I wanted to say at the time on my media, and I hear the comment, "Stop talking that shit." Okay, if you don't like it, you can also remove yourself. You don't have to be a
you
part
don't
of
have
it.
to
Yeah,
watch.
don't stay on it.
You know what I'm saying? You can go. I'm not holding you here. I don't have a gun to your head saying,
Didn't even ask you to come.
didn't invite you to the goddamn party.
Right.
I didn't invite you at all. But you got something to say. So you want to remove yourself or you want me to do it? Because then you're going to create a fake account and see what I'm doing in. That's the kind of stuff that people are doing.
But
But
They
I
got a lot of
digress.
time on
Wasn't
their
that the-
hands.
Yeah,
I
but
digress.
They need
I
a
think
job.
They used to do
that's
that
what
back
they
in
need
the
a
day.
job.
media that's what it has morphed into. So
A mighty
again,
Morphin
not
Power Ranger.
necessarily
Everybody's a
that,
Decepticon, right?
I mean, because you get flack when you
I
don't
love
comment, when
the
you're just
robots.
scrolling, right? They say
The
you're trolling them, but
Decepticon.
you're not giving them comments. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like I think that world is the exception to the rule. It is because I mean, if you think about it, like I said, yeah, we're saying social media has done this and done that, but before people were always in celebrities' business because they were in the public.
Well, that's not even bring celebrity. Let's just talk about the
But
human
I'm saying,
experience.
period, though. But I'm saying
Yeah.
that. So now, though, because the celebrities were
Because
in the public eye,
they had National
Enquirer, Star,
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
But I'm saying that because they were in the public eye. But now you're in the public eye.
As
The
a regular
everyday person is
regular,
in the
okay.
public eye.
Yeah.
So now you're exposed to the public opinion, right? Ask for it or not. But, and again, that's not saying right or wrong about it, but you're talking about people given the opportunity to give their opinion. People love giving our opinion. I classify as a person, so
You do.
more people. I love giving my opinion on stuff. I'm just reserved about when I give it
exactly.
because I have learned that people have the right to be who they are, regardless as to my thoughts on it. I'm quite sure they got some thoughts on me and what I do. So with that being said, I'm gonna, keep my stuff to myself in most cases, and hopefully you'll keep yours.
And that's the thing. You can have an opinion. You're gonna be able to form one all day. Don't bring it to me unsolicited. If I didn't ask you for it, don't tell me.
But you don't take the good with the bad, though, because when I give you when I give you compliments, it's all good, right? But then now I'm giving you some
good. You have to be in a space to handle that, because everybody don't handle rejection well, and they don't handle, like, I don't know if I maybe do that. Some people just can't handle it. That's where you have to work on yourself, and those are things like if you want to be in the eye of the masses. Those are things that come with the territory if you want to be in that type of form. But
and you can't look at those comments.
Listen, I'll tell you what my mom said that was so eloquent when I came running in the house one time. It's like, yeah, my friends are out there talking about me. So the first thing she said was, well, are you any of those things? She was like, so if you're not those things, then what are we talking about?
And see,
and then after I cried a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at, she said, girl, they talk about Jesus. Do you really think they're not going to talk about you?
And see how you had that from your mom?
That's
you know what?
See how you had that from your mom? My mama know I love her from here to Egypt. I love her mama down. But I didn't have those kind of conversations. So when somebody said to me, you blackbird skeleton, baby, you faggot this, that, third, that. I ain't had nobody say, are you those things? Because guess what I did? I harbored all the shit. I never went and said nothing.
You didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything because, as you always say, you're looking out for other people. I'm looking out for experiencing the feelings of my parents. Had I told my mom I was raped and molested by a family member, you think they would not be in jail right now,
which means that you did have that kind of parent.
But
because you don't,
I could have,
right?
But I didn't say
gave
it.
them the opportunity.
But I guess as a kid, I'm thinking that my parent is supposed to know these things. As a child, I'm thinking this is just me as a child brain. I'm thinking my parents supposed to see stuff on me or notice things about, and just have that emotional connection. To be, I was attached to you for 10 months.
Right.
This is just me thinking.
Because you were a child.
My mom would know. If something is wrong with me, she'll come to me and say, hey, you good? Everything all right? Then maybe I would have. I never had that, though. But that's just me and the child.
Well, because she probably thought that, hey,
everything was good.
Yeah, you hanging with them, you lollygagging, I'm buying stuff and, all that stuff. So
did you have a personality that was kind of, free and
I was super
happy?
Only child syndrome, quiet.
Oh, okay. So you didn't give her anything to work with,
right? So she couldn't tell.
And that's what we talked about earlier.
Something is impacting you, so.
Right? We talked about that earlier, though.
Mm-hmm.
The child that goes in the room and shuts the door.
Yeah.
That's the one you go and knock on the door and say, "Listen, what's going on?"
Right.
Because if you don't, this is what happens. They grow up and they have these harbored things that have happened to them, and you don't know they have that happened because you didn't ask.
You didn't ask the question.
But even when you ask, sometimes they'll say no. My mom was in my business type stuff. And I was like, lady, go away. I don't want to discuss that.
Right.
But that's the thing.
To speak to their parents,
but that comes
because of guess what? The fucking the judgment.
Yes, the judgment.
Right.
Just the fact that you're my mom. Like when my mom got ready to have the sex talk with me, I'm looking at her
like don't do it.
Well,
don't do
she
it.
had it with me.
Yeah, but you didn't do it with her.
Like I do not want to talk about sex with you.
Yes.
I heard what you said. I get it and all that other stuff because in my mind, you're my mother.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to people that don't know half of what I know, but at least we're on the same level.
That's why I hate
So
when
it's
people
a
don't have the death
toss-up,
talk
Yeah.
amongst our community. We don't have
We
the
don't
death
have the
talk.
death talk. We don't
What
have
is
the
it?
love talk.
What is
We
the
don't
death
talk.
talk?
The death talk.
You gonna die
Let me
one
tell you
day.
what the death talk
We
is.
got to get
So,
our funeral arrangements together.
We don't have the money
I would
talk.
just say
That's what we don't talk about.
that
money.
either. But in my
That's what we need to
community,
be
I would
talking
just say in most the people that I've observed in my community, we don't like to have the death talk, and I call it the death talk is because if something was to happen to me, I want either A, have insurance, or I haven't put something in writing to tell you what my last will and testament would be.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm having to get GoFundMe. Well, you used to call them suppers back in the day. Fish frying suppers to try to collect money to bury your ass because you didn't have insurance or you didn't tell me what I needed to do, right?
Right.
So when my grandmother got ill, that's when I was like, okay, these talks are necessary because she sat me down. She said, all right, this is what I got. I have that dress, that is the wig, that is the shoes, that is the glasses, that is all that.
You gotta love it.
This is what's going to you. This is what's going to my daughter. This is how I want it broken out. I want to be buried here.
Right.
I wanted this pastor to preach. All of that was laid out.
That's right.
And I didn't have to worry about a dime because she said, here's the policy when it happens.
Yes. That's
You know
old
what I'm
school
saying?
prepper.
That's preparation. But most people don't like to say, let's say something happened to you, like you got ill.
Yeah.
Oh, mama's going to be good. It's good. But you ain't had to talk. Just say, okay, if something should take a left, are you good? Do you have anything lined up for us to do just in case? Because they're scared to speak. Don't speak death upon me.
The fact is, we're all gonna die.
It's gonna happen.
We're all
It's
gonna
gonna
die.
happen, but it's the definition we've assigned to death.
There you go.
Right? We'll say that everybody go to heaven and all that stuff, but you don't really believe that because if you did, you wouldn't be as afraid of the word.
It's
death,
the unknown.
right?
It's the unknown because we don't know.
Right.
Exactly.
But what about the money talk?
Yes.
We black
Really
people
what
do
it
not
boils
talk
down
They don't want to talk about the
really what
money
it circles
because we
around
don't have
to.
a lot of
That's
that.
what it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the money talk.
Yeah, we
Hold on.
don't.
Let me read this and we can talk about
Yes,
the money
we
right
have
quick, and then we'll
comments
wrap
he's
it up.
gonna read.
Yes. So Jared, if a kid isn't comfortable with talking to you about simple stuff, they're definitely not going to talk to you about serious stuff.
That's it.
So I 100% agree.
Absolutely.
My kids talk too much about too many things I
Right.
don't
This
want to know.
generation, oh my God, there are no.
You're like,
I
don't
wanna
tell
know.
me
Hey,
that.
Mom.
Lie.
Right.
No, I don't want you to lie.
I'm joking.
Right.
I know you're joking.
TMI.
But sometimes, yeah. But
What
there
would
is
you rather not
TMI.
know?
And you
Some
do.
stuff, yeah.
Sometimes you're like, you I
Even
don't.
if it's
know what
too
you're doing in the
just
bathroom.
no. Keep that to yourself.
I don't know. I
You're
guess
right.
I grew up open.
I always
did.
listen. I pause. I listen, and I know I have a poker face. I'm a lawyer,
Yes.
so I can listen and just okay.
Come on,
yeah.
Lord.
Attorney
Yeah,
Foster,
right.
throw that out there.
Attorney.
Right.
But
And then
internally you're
afterward,
jumping.
yes,
Yeah,
inside
okay.
I'm like, that is a lot of information.
Yeah.
But I need to get. But this person, my child, has trusted me. Yay!
Absolutely.
So that means that I have created some space for them, a safe space for them to communicate with me, and they trust me enough to ask me the question. So they
Absolutely.
think I might have an
And that
answer.
should be the utmost comment that they're coming to you.
It is.
Compliment, yes.
But
That
it's
should be
still.
the utmost compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But you still
is,
kind of
but
feel like.
as
I know
a
it may be
person,
uncomfortable.
You
It
still
may be
like,
uncomfortable.
yeesh.
And I want to go back to what she said about some kids do not like to talk about certain things.
That's true.
And you have to honor that. One of my children, I have 4 again, 35, 30, 28, and 26 now. And my 28-year-old, she's very shy, quiet, laid back. Not shy, but just laid back. She stays in the cut. Like, she was the only child, and there was three other children. I'm like, what's going on with
They
you,
think
girl?
like that.
But she would be in her room, and she would be quiet. But when it came to the sex talk, she was like 15. She was like, I don't want to really talk about this with you, Mom. I really don't want to talk about this with you, Mom. That's how she said it to me. And
You have to
I
respect
said, okay, when you're ready,
I'm here.
if you have any questions,
The door
I'm
is
right
open.
here. And if there's anything that you don't know and you need to know, I'm here.
Absolutely.
I won't judge you. If you decide that you have a different lifestyle, I won't judge you. If whatever you need to do in this life to make yourself fulfilled,
Yeah.
I'm here for you. And I told
that
all
should
my
happen.
kids that.
Yeah.
And
I
I
was
think
always-
we're
Definitely
open
happen
to
with
that.
I was always candid with my kids. I used
Yes.
the correct words.
Yes.
And and I would just, if something was on the news, I would just bring it up. I would talk to them. We're in the
Yes.
car. My two youngest are close in age, less than 2 years apart. And my son asked a question about something, and maybe it was oral sex or something. What is that? And I said, do you want to know? Because once I tell you what this is, you will not be able to forget it.
Right.
And then I said to my daughter, who's 2 years younger, I said, do you want to know? And she said, I don't want to know.
Right.
And I said, then you and I will talk later.
We'll talk sidebar.
Yeah,
On the
we're gonna let
side.
her. We're gonna let her
Let her
not have
go.
to know
Right.
for a little bit. But
Yeah.
if he had the question, he was ready to know.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's time to talk about it.
Okay. This is good.
Great.
Listen, 8:40 here on ATL Talks Radio. You're listening to Candid Conversations with G and Tabby. I want to thank everybody for the interactions we had today. If you called in, I love you. Thank you, Anika from Dallas. Well, from Louisiana, but lives in Dallas. Jerry, thank you for coming in. Kim, thank you for coming in. Anybody who's coming in and thank you. So this is the part of the show where we go ahead and clear our minds. I spent the last 20 minutes doing this. So since we got 3-4 guests, we're going to clear our minds today. You know what I'm saying? So want to let something out, let it go, release. Safe space to deal with the adjustment. You clear your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's start with your assistant.
Yes, Maya.
Let's start with Maya. Maya, speaking to the mic.
Okay.
If you had something that got on your
Into the
nerves this
mic.
month, this week so far, you're midweek. If anything's gotten on your nerves, you just want to release it, get it off your mind, and clear it.
Like, it has to be personal? Or?
Anything you want, just let it go. This is like a safe space release. Relax, release, Whitley Gilbert.
Oh. Okay. Wait, I do actually have two things.
Come on.
One, I don't know how much detail I get into, but that lady with the email, not that lady. Them
The other
voices.
email.
So this is work
No,
related.
That lied on me.
yeah.
She lied.
Yeah.
I didn't
A
appreciate
salesperson.
that. Yeah, I didn't like. I don't like being lied on.
I was like, let me.
That's
tell
a
him,
trigger. Don't
Tell him
lie
your
on.
boss is gonna talk
Number
to
one
him.
boss in the world. She was like, no, I'm gonna talk to them. So very lucky to have her. That didn't make me happy. And then I'm doing a writer's workbook, and I'm submitted it to Amazon. And I did all the editing and I organized everything. And I read the proof and everything. And then when I did it to print and publish, and I got the actual one, everything was messed up.
Oh my
Everything
God.
was
The
messed
format.
up. Not right. Everything was not what they had sent me in the proof, the one that I can't sell and everything. So that made me sad.
I'm
That's it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well, we gonna print it and
congratulations
get
on your
the right.
writer's
Yeah,
workbook
Yeah.
stuff. So let's look
congratulations.
forward to
Awesome.
that.
I feel like they're
I
gonna get
want
it
a
right.
copy.
They're gonna get it
Yes.
right. They're gonna get it right.
Yes. Attorney Foster. Let it go. Relax, relax.
Yeah. The fact that a young African American woman died 2 years ago because she couldn't get a DNC, and they let her die in the hospital in Henry County, and the
Oh, I heard
abortion
about
laws.
that.
That is what I've got to sound off about today.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm
vote,
gonna pray for our family. Yeah, vote.
vote,
Yeah, I heard about that.
vote.
People. You heard them.
Vote correctly. Vote.
Yeah, yeah.
Vote for
Vote
Kamala.
wisely.
You can't tell them who to
Marlanna
vote for.
J, what you got for me? Relax, relax.
My kids, I've been talking about them all night because they have been on my mind this week. I've had several discussions with a couple of them in the group. And they're at the age now where I have to be a friend, not a mother, just a guide to help them navigate life.
Yeah.
And so that's been a big thing for me this week. And then, of course, working on that book, and hopefully everything will come.
In this room.
Yes, come together. But y'all look for it. Riding the Waves by Marlanna J. It'll be out in October, and it will have some of the things we talked about today, triggers and how we navigate experiences in our lives that happen in our childhood that we don't talk about until we become adult. And we have to deal with those
you definitely have to come
things,
back when that comes out.
right?
Yeah.
So
Because they don't disappear.
they
It's
don't
there.
disappear. It
happens,
stays
whatever
there,
it
and
is, it's there.
it helps us,
That
and
will hurt.
it hurts us, whichever one. But I am I'm glad that I'm here today because this was good.
This is amazing.
This was amazing because we talked about everything that we were dealing with and
Yeah.
that I was dealing with today in the last couple of days. So thank you.
Absolutely. All right, co-hostess with the most is
My
relax,
usual
relax,
thing
relax.
has been, working on me and things like that, and I take ownership. But I do want to say I have the biggest question about when did we turn the tide where the workplace, the company, is responsible for our personal lives? Like, okay, I'm here to supply you with, pay and all that other stuff. All your personal stuff, I'm a business. My primary function is to make money.
Right?
Right? Of course, I want you to be
Say
happy
that
and
again.
things like that. But it is not the function of the business to make you happy. That is a personal choice. So that
You don't
has
think the
kind
job's
of
supposed
like
to make you happy?
no, it's,
The job not supposed to make you
the
happy? You're not
job
supposed
is
to be happy at your
the
job?
job. You can
You have
be
to be
happy
happy
at a
yourself.
job, but it is not the function of a company or a job to make you happy.
That's right.
That is a personal choice. The
Not give
function
you
of-
self-esteem.
Right, right.
None
So
of that.
I don't know when we turn the table, and it's not even a generational thing. It's happening across multiple generations. So I just find that kind of odd. So yeah, that.
I love it. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn now.
Yes.
So, I'm going to relax, release the spirit of sadness. I'm going to release the spirit of self-esteem clouding my judgment. I'm going to release the spirit of not being able to achieve and obtain my goals. I want the negativity factor of that to go away. Because right now, I have been in the spaces I shared last week. I was in a space where I was trying to figure out what is all of this about.
This life thing.
Yeah, like why I'm on these platforms, why people are not supporting me like I think they should, but that's for me. But not getting it where I'm supposed to get it, or losing friendships in the process because people thinking it's all good on the outside, it's not remotely good as what you think you're seeing. So I'm trying to release all that negative energy away from me. I'm letting it go today.
Good for you.
Because I feel like there's more work that out here that I have to get done.
Yes.
And I don't want that piece of it to come with me. Am I happy for the lesson? Absolutely. So I can share it with somebody else? Absolutely. That way I can tell that testimony, because without a test, there's no testimony.
That's right.
So I'm letting all of that go today, right
Good.
now, at 8:47
Good for you.
p.m. Eastern Standard
Good
Time.
for you.
You know what I'm saying?
Good for you.
So I'm letting it go. So with that being said, how do y'all feel? I need to go around the room one more time. I haven't done this in a while, but I'm gonna put this back in. I need to know everybody's mental meters from 1 to 10. Tab, where you sitting at with your mental meter today?
Give me a 10 all day.
Absolutely.
I would say 9.5.
9.5.
Yes.
I would say 9. It was a tough day. You definitely brought my spirits up.
Oh, I love
Yes,
that.
definitely.
You too. You ain't gonna leave you out.
At 8.
I love that. 8 is good. I'm at a strong 9.5 myself today.
Yes.
After today's talk, I just
Wow.
feel like it was gonna be great.
Yes.
We had a good
wonderful.
conversation today,
We did.
man. We got
We
a
did.
lot of stuff out. I love that everybody was interacting and giving their perspectives, and we never know who we touched today or helped.
That's
so that's a
right.
beautiful thing.
That's true.
So ladies, thank y'all for being here. So before we roll out, I'm gonna give y'all the opportunity to plug everything you need to plug, because even though they were on my show, we got other places to see these people and listen to them, and they got things to do because they're coaches and lawyers and book authors and all that good stuff. So
And invite us on.
yes.
Definitely.
Well, you might can take my space because she's invited me on, but I don't have the luxury to go into time. But we'll talk about that
Yes.
when we're done. So I'm gonna start
All
with the
right.
good old attorney.
Attorney Arnice Foster
Yes.
of the Foster Firm, handling personal injury cases all across the state of Georgia. We are in Atlanta, Douglasville, and Columbus, Georgia. Brand new office.
location.
Yay. But we can take your case all over Georgia. If you have a legal issue, give us a call. Personal injury, slip and fall, car accidents, and the like. We also do wills. uncontested divorces.
one of
That's
them.
new. And yeah, so y'all need wills,
The
right?
wills, baby.
You need a will. And a living will, but that's another
Yes.
day. And I also, being a creative, I'm also a business coach and a body coach. Body coach is health, nutrition, fitness, and your style.
Oh,
So,
wow.
You
Yes.
can find me at 6782-INJURY. That's 6782-INJURY.
And you can follow her on Instagram at the Foster Firm.
You
right?
can. You can
Yeah.
follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm Arnice Foster everywhere and the Foster Firm everywhere.
Absolutely.
Easy to find.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
I'm so glad
much
you
for being
invited
here.
me.
Yeah.
I love
when you're
being
on my
with
calendar.
I love being
Love
with
that.
G and
Thank you so
Tab.
much.
Yes.
Tab
Your
is so
turn,
wise.
beautiful.
You gonna give us some wisdom tonight?
She might give us a little 2 cents.
All right.
You know, you gotta pull it out.
I am Marlanna J. My website is Marlanna Brooks. You can find me on YouTube under Marlanna J Today. And everybody wants to spell my name with 1 N. You have to have it 2 N's. But I also
And I'll put the
do.
flyer up on
Yeah,
my
he's
media.
going to put the flyer up so that everybody can find me. But my book will be out in October, Riding the Waves by Marlanna J. And I also have a podcast that I do. You all will find that on YouTube under Marlanna J Today. And I'm on iHeart Radio on Bayshore for R&B and jazz on Thursdays at 4 o'clock. And so I just, I'm pretty much the strategic planner. If you need business coaching, like my sister over here, the attorney, I do a lot of strategic planning and entertainment management. That's my background. So I am open for business and anybody that I can help navigate what they do and how they do it, that's what I'm good at. So
Absolutely.
I partner up with corporations to get you the sponsorships and the money that you need to make sure that your business excels. So
Yes.
we'll be talking,
And
Mr.
with-
G.
Yes, go.
Talking about money.
Yes,
Yes.
go.
Love it.
Thank you so much for being here. And I will say
Mm-hmm.
this live and in living color. I am so happy that God allowed us to cross paths
Oh,
in
definitely.
that McDonald's that day.
Definitely. It was divine
It
intervention.
was definitely supposed to happen that way.
And I wanted to tell you, Ricky Smiley, I've known Ricky for over 20 years, and he's just getting recognition.
Yeah.
They just signed him.
It's a syndication.
So, yes.
Oh, congratulations. to
So,
him.
don't give
That's
up.
Oh, no, I'm going to keep pushing,
And
man. I
keep
had
pushing
to talk.
because
I had to
Ricky,
talk.
they
Say
did
I know.
Ricky wrong too. His
Yeah.
friends turned their backs on him
Yeah.
and things like that. He's been through a lot. But just like him, he just kept going. You
Yeah.
keep going, keep smiling. But there's going to be down days, but the up days are better than the down.
I hit a lot from that one. Your turn.
Well,
What's the name of that book?
the name of the first book that will be released is He Said, She Heard. And I'm working on
See how you got that? You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
That's the reaction.
Yeah, definitely. Working on completing that. And just, working to help build G Code with which is an organization that G is going to kind of tell you guys a lot about. And supporting, just the different avenues on thought expression and, the evolution of thinking. I think that's a
Yes.
lost art.
Yes.
Critical thinking, you remember when it was on our report card?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Miss Jessie
I-
said congratulations.
Well,
Jessie
thank
Battle.
you. Thank you, Jessie.
Yes.
Oh, my God. She used to make the best cakes. She don't make them anymore, but oh, my God. She used to make the best
All right,
cakes.
look, we want a cake, Miss Jessie.
So,
Come on
yeah.
over here and bring us one live in studio.
So, yeah, that's what we got going on.
Love that. Okay, so make sure you hit these individuals out before we get out. Ladies, I'm right. So before I ask and beg,
All right, Keith.
if I go to begging,
Sweet.
keep sweating and all of the people begging. So just so as Tab just stated, this year has been very educational for me. I have decided to do a nonprofit, something I never touched base in before, because women, y'all have everything that y'all need. Y'all support each other wholeheartedly, and it's just like second nature for you to do it. However, it's our turn. So I have founded the G Code, where I'm going to have a bunch of gentlemen connecting, doing outreach and dedicated to empower other young men and other men for a safe space to be able to talk, evoke emotions without judgment. We have a safe space for us and come and intertwine, intervene, let it go. You'll be amazed how a man, especially African American man, when you talk and let stuff go, how much better communication and conversations can be. So that can help you in your marriages. That can help you with your childhood. That can help you with growing other kids, especially when bringing teenagers into these meetings and these establishments. So we're going to have life coaches. We're going to have therapists. We're going to have all these people on deck to give all the necessary tools for men to be able to have that safe space and feel comfortable with evoking their emotions. So be on the lookout for G Code.
Yes.
And we are looking to do a couple of events. We're going to do Hug It Out in February because that's giving me enough time to get a location, a couple speakers, and everything lined out for that. But that's coming soon.
Okay.
But what I'm going to need your help with coming up, we are doing a giveaway drive, and I'm teaming up with 2 other people and 8 Atlanta, I think it is, that's going to be involved, I think. We're going to be giving out supplies to our homeless. Now, they always can get food here and there, but we're going to have the food portion on hand. But I want to do toiletries, socks. We're going to be giving away we just want to give a bag with some sanitizers, socks, paper, soap, things that they can maybe, some of them when they go into a store or bathroom, they can wash up and feel a little clean or whatever.
Toothbrush,
toothpaste, deodorant.
What about hot hands?
Hot hands, just tab both of them, hot hands, just stuff that they can grab and, keep their hygiene up to par if they are in a position where they're trying to maybe look for work or whatever. They have those things at hand. So we're going to be trying to do that next month. I think I'm going with the 19th. I'll have the date for sure this weekend, but we'll make it either this month or November. Because I didn't want to put the food drive and that right behind each other, but we'll see how that flies. If it plays that way, it just plays that way. But I'm going to be soliciting y'all for some donations. So if your heart want to give, please feel free to hit me up. Or volunteer. I'd love to have y'all here just to kind of see the flip side of your community. I know we are blessed every single day to be able to get up, wake up, and go to the bathroom, take a cloth, heat it up, wipe our face, brush our teeth, put our clothes on, all this stuff. We're blessed to do those things, but we don't see the other side. And I would love for us to be able to, if you want to volunteer, whatever you want to do, I'll take it all.